Hello guys, it's Elion again. So today we're going to do the Sheraton trial. So for those who haven't killed Sheraton or finished his trial, so this is a guide for you. So there will be two phases. So phase 1, it would be a HP from 100% to 50%. So Sheratan uses Petal Storm, magic damage 4 times to all enemies, and then strategic scheme with HP damage 50% to one enemy. And then absorbing root for it deals magic damage 0.2 modifier as MP drain, and then 20% to one enemy. Then restores 30,000 HP to caster to Sheratan. Next would be Tectonic, so it's an magic damage 5 times to all enemies. So Bloom will be a magic damage 4 times to one enemy, and then Calling Ivy, physical damage 4 times to one enemy, and then inflicts paralyze 100% to one enemy. So this is the attacks and thresholds of Sheratan for phase 1. So at 80% threshold, he will use Petal Storm. So again, it's a magic damage with 4 times to all enemies. So you can use uh, you can have a high spirit for all your units, or you can just use a magic tanker. So at 60% again, he will use Petal Storm. So you should be ready with the thresholds, because if you are using magic tank, so your magic tank might die. And then next would be every third turn, he will use strategist scheme, and then absorbing root, which is again a 20% MP drain to one enemy. If you want to at least minimize the damage or the MP drain, you just have to build Esper for your tank or your provoker. Next would be, and then every turn is like that, and then use Tectonics and earth damage, and then ends turn. So trash the Sheratan will use up to 8 regular attacks. So after using that for phase 1, I advise you to build up your Esper gauge, and then also deals this during phase 1, you can do the deal of the earth damage and then dark damage to Sheratan. So you can, or you can cross out those missions on Sheratan's trial. Next would be phase 2. It starts from HP less than 49%. So at 49%, if you damage him, if you're like from 51%, and then you damage him with a lot of damage, his HP will just stop at 49%. So you can damage her furthermore. So when he hits the threshold of 49%, so he opens up with phase 2 immediately with she then summons Fruit of Tenacity and then Fruit of Anger. And then he says Dark Miasma, dark damage 7 times to all enemies and turns. So if you're using a magic tank, so your magic tank should have a 100% dark element resist and earth 100% element resist. So and then this is the attack and threshold for phase 2. So Sheraton uses Foreign Leaf, magic damage 7 times to all enemies. So it will be used at 40% and then 20% threshold. And then uses Sweet Nourishment, magic damage and MP drain to from single target the first phase 1, and now it will be used to all enemies every 3 turns. And then again uses Uneasy Voice, so in Sheraton will inflict blind and paralyze to 100% to one enemy, and then targets enemy with no ailments. So if your tank have unprovoked, so she will just target another unit again. So bite into, so it's unfixed damage of 4,500 to one enemy, and then it will be used once every turn. So every third turn, Sheratan will use again Dark Miasma, and then she will do 8 regular attacks every turn. So for phase 2, in this guide, we will just ignore all the attacks and threshold of of Sheratan because you will use the Esper damage and also the help of the Fire Raja of Victoria. So hope to see you guys. Let's go kill Sheratan. So we're going to defeat Sheratan now, and let's do the battle. Hope you remember all the attacks and thresholds. So this is to complete the quest, defeat Sheratan within 20 turns, defeat Sheratan with Esper, and deal earth and dark damage. So let's go. So this is 9S for our 100% evading for Boke, then Mystia for AoE magic dab. Physical, then solid buffs. Mystia will do Fire Raja, and then Lotus Mage will use the re-raisen. If you have on other mages, you can use that. Then Conrad for chaining. Then Mystia or Garnet will be summoning or and then filling our Esper gauge. So these are equipped for Evo Mag so that we can deal high damages for Sheratan. So let's go, guys. If you're having trouble with the skills, you can just use these skills. So first we have to deal dark damage for or Bayora, or you can other use skills for Victoria. So now we deal dark damage and provoke for 9S, then Tartarea for Mystia. Then Soleil will just do the dance, increase our defense and decrease the attack of Sheratan. Then Lotus Mage will use mana for us to do or make our mana filled up. As you can see, 9S just counters and cannot be damaged by Sheratan. So next you'll select Garnet to fill the Esper gauge. So we change our positions. Again, so they will just do the sword dance. Now we have a 120% defense and attacks. Isa will use destination for increasing his spirit and then reduce damage. So Garnet will use the prayer to the Eidolons and then will do stone damage to Sheratan. So we're done with the earth and dark damage to Sheratan. And then Lotus Mage will use Raise to Mystia and then heal. Sometimes Mystia won't be tanking all the magic damage, so sometimes you just need to have a raise on both. For tanks, it's 9S and Mystia. So Mystia will just defend for this. We will defend. 9S will do spread shield to reduce our damage. And then Soil will just continue dancing for this, for the whole stage or for the whole trial. Will give you re-raise to 9S and Kuraja, because you will see now why I put re-raise on both of my tanks, because sometimes Mystia can't just do damage. As you can see, 9S got the skill from Sheratan and Mystia didn't just cover us. So we really need an MP battery with this. So 9S can use provoke every 4th turn. So every 3rd turn Sheraton will use the strategy scheme and then also the tectonics or earth magic damage. So again, Mr. will just try to hit a wall, and then so they will just continue dancing. Garnet will now use prayer to the Eidolons and fill our Esper gauge. So next turn we'll change our setup to again for Victoria. We'll be using Fire Raja. So we change our units. 9S will use provoke again. So we're just checking our stats, because yeah, then destination will be used again. We dual cast for Mistia and then Kuraja again. So Salil again will do the dance. As you can see, 9S died earlier if we're just lucky to survive that, and also that Garnet survived not the damage of Sheratan because she has a lowered attack. So again, 9S can't be damaged by Sheratan. We'll now use the spread shield again, or we can use the reduced fire damage for us to get to the thresholds. Remember that at 80% and 60% there will be a threshold. So I'm just thinking for this again, we'll use the reinstate is also a good thing for us, because we still will full heal himself so that we can have a heal for us if 9S don't have a mana, so we can use the mana for Lotus Mage. So I'm just thinking for this, and we put the race again to 9S and then Kiraja for us, and then repeat for Faraja on Victoria. So again, there is the 6th turn or the 3rd turn, the Tectonics comes again for the earth damage, and we don't receive any damage at all. So now I think Mistia will die this turn, so we need the third turn is very hard for this turn because for your provoke tank, because we really need to use provoke for this, because your units might die when Sheraton attacks them. So we'll use the provoke now. So Soleil again will do the buffs, so Panzer Dance to increase our defense and spirit, and then attack and magic. So Victoria will again use Faraja. So be careful when hitting the thresholds. As you can see, we're almost at 80% for the thresholds, because hitting them, and if you're not ready, your team might get wiped or Yusa might die, and then you can't get up or rebuild your team. So again, we'll use Turtle Wall, and then dance again for Soleil. 9S will use spread shield to reduce our damage, and then Lotus Mage Fina will again re-raise and then use Kiraja. I think next turn I'll have a difficulty in, so we hit the threshold, there is a Petal Storm and then Angry Broom and then Coiling Ivy. So Mystia died, but that's okay. 9S will be the one be targeted. So this turn there will be another Tectonics again. So use the Panzer Dance again, and then Tertiary Wall for Mystia to evade the earth damage later. And we will use the reduce magic for us to survive the next skill, or the magics of Sheratan, and then we'll use again the erase for us, and then Kiraja. Victoria will be using recasting the Fire Raja just in case. So very hit, so it's around 59% for us to get the next threshold. And now it's Tectonics again, so we didn't, so 9S will just continue to counter attack. So we don't have enough mana for 9S, so what do we do is we'll use Faraja for Victoria. So now we're hitting the next threshold. So now we're gonna hit the threshold, so we just have to be ready for the next. So we use Ring State for Mystia for us to heal himself up, and Lotus Mage Fina use the mana regen for 9S so that he can provoke or erase to Lotus Mage Fina just in case. Also, you might get targeted by all, and hoping that we can survive this attack. So 9S will just use defend here. Luckily, he attacked this turn with Soleil and then 9S. So this is the Angry Bloom and Coiling Ivy. Mystia survives, and he attacks Soleil and 9S, and both missing. And one attack for Victoria. If Victoria got attacked by 3 times, so Victoria will be losing all the stacks of our Fire Raja. So we'll be using again Victoria to check if we can finally deal damage or get the HP of Sheraton to 49%. Let's see, and we hit the phase 2. So now we just have to be ready for our phases. So Mr. will again use Tartalea just in case we lost it in the last turn. And again we'll use Manotopia for 9S so that he can provoke all the damages of Sheratan. So 9S will use provoke. I'm thinking here if I can use at 49%, if you use the limit burst of Soleil, you will have a chance to I forgot the skill or the name of the skill. You can charm her so that this turn you will just transform and then will not use Dark Miasma. So now Sheraton will come in phase 2, so we'll open up PC to summon the Fruit of Anger and the other fruit. So and then Dark Miasma and then End's turn. So now we'll do the Esper killing and also the chaining. So I messed up here because I forgot to cast first the Fire Raja of Victoria. So if you want to do it right, so you'll just have to cast Victoria's Fire Raja first after clicking Fire Raja and then click Garnet after. And then after the animation of Bahamut, you can train with Edgar after. So that you can finish the Sheratan trial guide with killing Sheratan with an Esper. So let's see guys on how did I messed up with this trial in the end. So we'll just have to use chainsaw for both Edgar and Conrad. So 9S will debuffs the stats of Sheratan and then Garnet. So you can, as you can see, it should be in Victoria then Garnet, and then after the animation right here you can now use both contract. But it's okay in this stage. I killed Sheratan. That's right. And then now we finish the trial. And as you can see, we cleared it. Only with the Esper, but if you did the right thing, if you cast Victoria first and then Garnet, and then after the animation, we'll use Conrad after. So you can finish the trial like that. And now it's all good. So after this, I'll be showing you on the equipments of my units. So hope to see you guys on my next videos. So this is the equipments and also the espers that was equipped with my units. So Solil, if you don't want his you can equip any esper to Solil because he can withstand all the attacks of Sheratan. So let's see the equipments of our 9S. So 9S has Mughal Plushie for 30% provoke, and then Mighty Hammer for an extra HP, Assassin's Vest for the evade, and then Raven Beret with 5%, and then 20-sided with 20%, and Lucky Bangles with 10% again. Quick Assault 10%, Spirit of Freedom 10%, and then True Spirit of Freedom 15%, and then I put some HP for you to have at least an HP. So that's it. So that 9S has a 20% passive of evading, so 20% plus 20% from 20-sided, that's 40, 10% for Assassin's Vest, and then 10% again with Lucky Bangles Source at 60, Raven Beret 5%, 65, Spirit of Freedom 10%, so 75, True Spirit of Freedom plus 15, so it's 90%, and then plus 10% for Quick Assault, so in total of 100% evade. For Mistia, I put some Ulrich's Cookery because Ulrich's Cookery, if you have him, it gives you a 10% on all element resistances, and then Ashphales for just some defense and spirit, and also some element resist but you won't be using it, and another 30% for the earth. So Black Mask for dark element resistance, Guide Clothes for some spirit, and then 20% dark resistance. So gauntlets for us to equip the light shield, and then Shadow Dragon Scales for 30%, and then True Hydrogen Guard for the another element resistances, and then some HP for him to have at least 6,000 HP for this. And then Hollywood replica for Soleil for just some spirit. And then cat ear hood, vestment of mine. Actually, you can just put any equipments on Soleil that she can buff. So if you want to refill your limit gauge or some buffs or imperils to Sheratan, so you can use Riku's pouch. And then we give him some HP plus 15%. For Victoria, all you have to do is at least have a 850 to at least 900 or 900 plus above magic, or so that you can deal a lot of damage from Sheratan. And then give him dual wield. So for Draco Spike, you can just farm this Bahamut raid event, so you can have at least Draco Spike, or if you don't have, just farm raid event so you can at least if you pulled some Zyro, so you can have a Draco Spike in the future. Next would be Lotus Mage Fina. Lotus Mage Fina can be used if, or you can use Ayaka for summary race, or others who have a race. You can use Vanille if you don't have, but your team composition will be different and you will need another healer for that. We will just give him some free equipments, and then Hot Arts, Vengeful Wrath, and Mechanical Heart, and then True Shard of Genius. For Garnet, I showed it earlier, Evomag plus 40% in total, and then I gave him Holy Wand, or you can change Evomag for a dual cast, so that she can, but all she needs here is just summon Bahamut and also do the prayer to the Eidolons. Or you can use her as your buffer or as your healer if you don't have any Ayaka or Tilit or Sakura. And for Edgar, we just use Bowie Knife, which is from the past events, and then Flame Tongue, fire damage to chain with Victoria. And then for Conrad, as you can see, no abilities also, and then just equipment and second knife, or you can use dual wield for him, and Crimson Saver to chain with Conrad and then Fire Raja. So that's it, guys. Hope you find this video a lot of help, or a video helpful. So if you want to subscribe, then just subscribe in my channel so that you can see or you can watch any other trials that can be coming, or some future guides. So hope to see you soon, guys, and don't forget to subscribe and like my channel. Bye, guys.